Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin with the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and these are an indication of the weather. It is calling for snow. So this is
Better than
our,
the rain we've been having.
it's our, yeah, right. Yeah, we've got rain actually, but it is calling for snow. I think it's supposed to get cooler where we are. So we're in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Well, Jen's in Quebec, but not far, about an hour away. And so yeah, so it's we're going into our holiday season. So I thought I would, be fun. And Jen's got her earrings to match. That's right. I don't think I'm going to leave these on the whole time because I really, don't see very well, and you guys can't see my eyes. So hi, welcome, happy holidays. And I'm going to shut the glasses now. That's it. Hi.
They were a long-lasting.
Yeah. Some props are meant for the full show, some are not. Yes. So, how is everyone? Hello, hello. We've got some people in the audience already. We have Fogo Pogo. Hey, Kaylee.
Hey.
Thank you for the glasses. Yes, the glasses are lovely. And yes, Jen has matching earrings. Hello, sir. We have Gerald in the audience at Tarot Stash. Hello, hello. Welcome. So great to have you all here. So we have had, it has been an emotionally charged few weeks. Indeed.
It really has.
So many people feeling all of this stuff. So in terms of what's creating that is we have had some huge solar storms, which have brought down a whole lot of light. So when that happens, we get a whole lot of light coming into our system. All that dense stuff, that we might have pushed down for years and years, like since childhood and before, all comes bubbling up. And so I know I've had that happen, and I know that almost everybody that I've spoken to has had some version of that's happened. And so I'm just sending so much love and light out to everyone who's going through that. It can certainly be a challenge around this time of year anyways, with, all of the family stuff and, a lot of loss and stuff around this time of year. And we feel those that are no longer with us even more. And so I'm just sending so much love and light out to all of you. We did have, in terms of solar storms, we had one last week on Thursday or Friday that was actually an X2, which is huge. One of the biggest that we've had actually since 2017. And so if you've been feeling really off, even like just since last week even, that'll be why. That's come in and really sort of hit everybody, in a big way. Okay, so that's part of it. The Schumann, interestingly enough, has been fairly stable. It has its little blips, it's like a little bit up, but we're not up in the hundreds or anything, which is phew, is what I can say to that. But all this other stuff has come down, so it's really been a go. We're going through the ascension process, folks. So like, hang on to your hat, be kind and compassionate to everybody because you don't know what they're going through, and it's happening for us, although it doesn't feel like it. Really, when you're going through the thick of it, it sucks, but it is happening for us. If you think about all of that just being energy that you're releasing, and that's tough when you're in the middle of it's really hard to just think of it as energy. But if we can, then that's ideal. So.
Well, and it's been heavy, and it's been a lot, and it's everywhere, right? I have everybody coming on and just kind of going, damn, it's heavy. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that's not even talking about collective energy, right? So like the collective energy is pretty heavy, right? We've got a lot going on in the world in terms of all sorts of areas, right? Politically, we've got all sorts of things coming to the surface, which I don't really want to get into on the show, but all of that stuff adds to the collective. And so really what it's our job to sort of transmute ours because each of us has a responsibility to transmute our own energy and hold the light and just be love.
That's it,
I don't know.
right?
That's what they're saying. They're just saying, just be love. Just be love. So, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's what we're going to do. We're just going to hold the light and be love. So, yes, it has been an emotionally charged few weeks.
yeah.
Jen, what do the transits have to say about all of this? Because I think there's probably a fair bit in the transits. I know we've gone into a Mercury retrograde in terms of astrology, which
Hmm.
always brings its own stuff.
It definitely does. Well, right now we are in 11, right? And this is the gate of ideas, the gate of peace. In the gene keys, it's about moving from obscurity to idealism to light. What's interesting here is really it's this idea of moving from the ego,
Hmm.
right? And from that place of ego and that kind of victimization of being caught up in our beliefs, right? And being able to move from that into this place of idealism, and not an idealism in the sense of, again, because again, right, we're looking at beliefs. And so it's this idea of being able to recognize that, you know, these ideas that can come to us are not things that we have to be so regimented about, but they're really about seeking, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? And can we really seek for something more, right? And can we seek for something greater than ourselves? And in doing so, we come to this place of light, right? And what Richard talks about is this idea of light of Eden, right? It really is this idea of tapping into that which is greater than ourselves and bringing that in. And that's what feeds this ideal kind of perspective that we can bring to the collective, right? And to our experience. What I did end up doing though, guys, because we won't be here next week and we haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do for the new year, is I just kind of pulled for the rest of the year, just so that give you
Awesome.
guys an idea too.
So before you get into that, Jen, I just want to say hello to a couple of people.
Wow, of
Before we
course.
get into that piece, we have medium Betsy Palmer.
Hello.
Aloha, aloha to you. It is a lot. Many,
Mhm.
many people are talking about it. So many people that actually are not even, they haven't been, I'm going to say, no, they haven't been aware of this type of thing, are feeling it and starting to question, like, what is this? You know, and of course, that's part of the reason it's all happening. Right.
Yeah.
So welcome, Betsy. Thank you for joining us. And we have Taro your way. I believe it's Thomas. So thank you for joining us. And we have Annie. Hey, Annie. Lots of love. And yeah, so there's lots going on. Jen, go ahead. Let's finish the rest of the year for the transits.
Yeah. Yeah. So before I move on to that, I just want to finish with the gate 11, because we're going to
Of
be in the
course.
gate 11 until Wednesday, Thursday we transition. So the 20th, 21st is the transition into the 10th. So just notice, right, if there is this kind of maybe addiction to seeking that comes in, right? This need to kind of like, find something, or if there's, this kind of fear of darkness, of our own darkness, or
Mhm.
a darkness in somebody else, or in an experience that comes up. And just notice what that looks like for you. And pay attention to the ability to tap into clear seeing, right? Because really that's what the 11th energy is about.
Yeah.
So notice that. And so then we move into from the 21st. Sorry, I'm just looking at the calendar, guys. From the 21st through until the 25th, actually, we're going to go into the gate 10. And so the gate 10 is the gate of treading. This is the behavior of self. So now this is the love of the self. And this gate moves us from the shadow of self-obsession to the gate, to the gift of naturalness and the siddhi of being. So this is really, really about being able to move from that place of really being caught up in our own narrative. Right? When we talk
And
about self-obsession, this is what we're talking about.
a lot of this upset emotional stuff is really about us being caught in our narrative, isn't it? Because we're
Mm-hmm.
caught in the narratives that we've been told. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Right. I mean, this goes from the repressive side of self-denial all the way through to the, reactive side of narcissism, right? Like it's the
yeah,
full spectrum of what that looks like. And so recognizing, this gate is in the G center. So that's the guidance center, that part of us that has to do with love and direction, and our sense of identity, right? So really there is a huge kind of empowerment that comes with this, but it's really about tapping into that naturalness, right? Richard talks about it as this like divine laziness, right? This ability to really get into the flow and what that looks like. And it's about finding our place and our pace. And it's about recognizing that it's got nothing to do with our story in that way, right? It's about being at ease and just being able to love ourselves, and to find out what that actually means in a way that isn't about, who am I, and what's my path, and what am I going to do, and what does this look like for me, and how does this serve me? And it's really about, how can I just be in this place, and how can I bring whatever that looks like out, right? And what does that, sorry guys, I'm going to cough for a second.
and I think appreciate and accept that, whatever that is that's coming out as well, right?
I'm fighting a bit of a cold, guys, so I'm going to cough and take some water every now and then, and probably suck on a couple of these guys.
We'll send her lots of healing vibes.
Thank you. But yeah, that's really what it's about, because the Siddhi for this one is about being, right? And it's interesting that this is what's coming up right now, as we're going into this holiday time, and we're going into this time where we're going to be, potentially with family. We're going to be pulled into these different pentas, which in human design, it's about, in ourself, we have our design, but as soon as we're around another person, it changes. And when we're in groups, it's this penta that kind of takes over, or in bigger groups, it's a wa, which we're not even going to get into. But basically what happens is everything changes, right? And we end up in these dynamics that, and sometimes we might end up in them and we go, I don't even know who I am when I get back at, like I'm my own person in this, but then the moment I end up with, this group or this family dynamic, like I don't even recognize myself anymore. Right. And what's happening is we're taking on these roles in these places. And so it's really, really interesting that we're going into this gate of self-love at this time, where we're going to be pulled into these places where self is often lost, right? And self doesn't exist anymore because we're in these groups. So really kind of noticing that and being able to take that step back and coming into that place of being, right? And kind of going, okay, can I just sit in this place, and can I allow myself to be here and not have this fear of inadequacy that comes up, and not have this kind of fear of having to prove myself or having to be a certain way, but can I just be in this place and allow myself to move from that, as opposed to whatever these, narratives are trying to tell me, right? And so this is going to be a huge kind of energy to get us through kind of this kind of holiday season, right? And then from there, the 26th through the 31st, we're going to be moving into the gate 58. Now, the gate 58 is the joyous. This is about aliveness. This is the vitality to challenge, right? So this is moving from the shadow of dissatisfaction to the gift of vitality and the siddhi of bliss, right? So really paying attention to the pressure that might arise to perfect things.
Yeah, right? We've talked about perfection on this show before. Like, perfection is an illusion, right? There is no perfect. So, yeah.
No. And again, like we talk about, like the siddhi for this is bliss, but then Richard talks about the, this moving from stress to bliss. And it's interesting because so often we get caught up in all of this stress trying to bring about bliss. And that's never the way that dynamic is supposed to work.
No.
Right?
If it's not flow, then right? It's stressful. So if you're
Yeah,
not flowing into bliss, you could just put in stress. So if you
right.
try so hard, yeah.
Well, and this is the piece too, right? And we're talking about this idea of vitality here because really, vitality comes from doing those things that light us up. And I know we talk about this so often,
Yeah.
right? We get completely drained when we're saying yes to things that every part of us is saying no to, or when we're saying no to things that we
Yes.
desperately want to say yes to, right? When we're in this place of trying to push for things that just aren't in flow, or when we're just fighting against the current and nothing is working, right? And so
Yeah.
recognizing that this is where this dissatisfaction comes from, and it's what really truly drains our vitality, right?
Yeah.
But we can build that vitality if we're willing to step into that place of allowing things to just move as they're meant to.
Yeah.
Right? And to step into that dance, which is such a beautiful thing. I mean, I love using dance as an analogy because, we don't even necessarily have to know the steps, but if you're willing to follow, which is hard for a lot of us at
For
different
sure.
times in our lives.
We're used to leading. We don't always follow.
But if we're willing to follow the music, follow the beat, follow a partner sometimes, right? It really depends on what situation we're in. But if in those moments we're willing to follow that, to respond to that, to allow that, to guide us, a beautiful dance can unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And in that space, we're able to really tap into this energy. And, we talk about things like ecstatic dance, and the Sufis get into this idea of like the whirling
The
dervish,
whirling dervish.
idea of really just being caught up in the bliss of it, right? In those moments where, you're just caught up in the beauty or the wonder of an experience, right? And being able to be in that place and really honor that. And I love, what Richard talks about, and I'm looking at the card here, and he's talking about like beyond focus, right? This idea of the still lake. And it's interesting now, I'm reading that, and I'm remembering reading in his book, and I'm referencing, just so you guys know what I'm referencing when I talk about his book, I'm talking about the Gene Keys. So it's a book, and he talks about all of the Gene Keys in there. But he talks about the still lake, right? And how, we get to this place where, we're able to, it doesn't matter what's happening on either side of the spectrum of the lake. Like eventually we get to this glass, right? Where it's this perfect reflection. Yeah, a little light reading. You got it.
Yeah.
Right? Where we recognize that nothing is perfect, and in that everything is perfect. Right?
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful place, because from there, everything is able to move, and creation can happen, because there is no set way, right? So we don't have to fall into that pressure for perfection. It's such a beautiful metaphor, the way that it's explained, and I love that. And he's talking about that because it's when we look at the right here, right? It's lake on lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why the lake is such a powerful imagery for this particular card.
It also looks a lot like a willow tree, just saying.
And then there's that too. Right? So that's going to bring us through the year, guys. So really just being mindful, right, of what's coming up for you through the different transits as they bring you through the end of 2023. Holy crap, how did we get here?
I have no idea where the last year went. Yes. Changes in our bodies, absolutely. Like as we age, right? We certainly have those changes. I've hit that age too, so it's interesting to say the least. For sure. I think
Yeah.
the other thing about the perfectly imperfect concept, right, that came up for me this week was, you know, we're all learning. That's what we're here for. And we expect ourselves to know or to be able to do something and do it right the first time.
Mm.
And we don't. Like, you know, it crossed my mind that we kind of almost have to think of each other as toddlers in a way. You know how toddlers have to learn, well, I guess they're younger than toddlers, but yeah, the babies, right? They got to learn how to walk. Well, they
Mhm.
fall on their butt lots of times before they actually learn how to walk. And, you know, it's okay to do that. We
Mhm.
all do it. We all fall on our butt, right? And it's okay to allow others to do it as well. You
Mhm.
don't have to be that jump in and know everything right away, or
Yeah.
jump in and be able to do everything perfectly, or to guide through social situations without the guffaws that might come up at Christmas, right? That we're all going to do it. I don't know.
So
That's what's coming to mind. You know, you
well,
make comments and afterwards you're like, oh, that didn't quite come out the same way as I'd hoped. Hmm. I did that the other day and I went, huh, all right. Okay,
not
I'm just
quite,
going to
but it is.
apologize. Sorry. And of course, I mean, fortunately, you know, the person was fine, but it's that we're going to do it, you know, we're going to make comments that we think twice about. We're going to fall on our butt, and it's
Mhm.
okay to do that. Fail
Yeah.
your first attempt at learning, right? Fail. And sometimes we do it more than once, and that's okay too.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
sometimes we take off running and we fall and we skin our knees and it hurts
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
And we have to deal with that. And then we get up and we go, okay, that really hurt.
Mhm.
We're still going to get up and do it again.
That's right. Mhm.
Right? I think that, a big piece in all of it really is, and again, it comes back, to the energy right now, the 11 energy is this ability to be receptive, right?
Yes.
Can we allow ourselves to be receptive and not have to know or chip a tooth? Yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, but yes. Yep. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so is it okay for you not to know everything?
Oh,
Is it okay for you not to be able to do everything perfectly the first time
or the second, or the third,
or the
or
third
ever.
or at all? Yeah. You know, it's okay. And the fact that we still want to try
Mm-hmm.
is the beautiful part.
Yeah.
That resiliency thing comes to mind.
Yeah. And being, it is okay, and it's perfectly okay. It's so funny. I there's so many times where I've looked at something and been like, that's good enough.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I have to tell you, you know, years ago that was not me. I was the perfectionist years ago. And now I'm like, okay, there's times when it rears its head, of course, because you know, that's programming. But we're working through that, you know. It's much less than it used to be for me. I was very much in that, very judgy of myself and all that stuff. I am judgy of myself, but in a different way now, and it's not so much the perfectionist thing. But when you can stand back and go, yep, yeah, that's good enough. It's not it's not what we would consider perfect, but it's good enough and I'm good with that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then of course you ask yourself, what would perfect be? Because those flaws create perfection. Just like those teacups, you know, in is it is it China or Japan where they actually fix china with gold,
Mm-hmm.
hmm and they make it becomes like worth way more money because it's been
Yeah.
mended with gold, and the flaws become the beautiful part of it, just as our flaws do.
Yeah. Such a
and
beautiful piece,
and flaws, like, you know, it's all relative.
isn't it though?
Yeah. They do, actually. They absolutely do, Annie. Flaws create uniqueness. And then what is flaw? Is this a word we should reframe? I believe we've reframed other words on here. Is flaw a negative, or is it a positive if it creates your uniqueness? I think we've coined it as or presumed it is a negative in our
But we can get
society.
into the whole, relational frame theory, and words only have meaning because we give it meaning.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And then recognizing that, this could have any meaning we want it to have. And right. And something is only a flaw if we think that it should be a different way.
Right. So if we step into acceptance of something, then it's not a flaw. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fascinating, eh?
Isn't it? It's pretty incredible. Right. And then we can look at it and it really is our uniqueness, right? Because now it just is. It just is part of, part of who we are. It's part of how we show up. It's part of, yes.
There you go. Thank you. Yes, that's it. It's a beautiful art. Mm-hmm. Welcome to Astri 3.
Hello, hello.
It is not just you.
Yeah.
I think we're talking almost worldwide here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It is pretty deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so noticing it and really, really holding that space, right? Like Tanis was saying earlier, and holding space for what we have capacity for, right? With all of the things that are going on in the world, it's such an important piece to be able to recognize what we can do, right? And ultimately that is just holding that space.
Yeah, for sure.
And contact info is
if you can go to the website, there's a contact there, or you can reach out. I'm at Tanis, TANYS, at twillowlifestyle.ca. And if you want to use that, if it's me you're trying to reach, or if it's Jen, just let me know it's her and I can forward the email to her, so we can get that message through.
Yeah.
Or if you want both of us, we can talk about that too. So,
yeah.
We're always happy to have that. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So TANYS at twillowlifestyle.ca. That's my email.
Awesome.
Okay. So, yeah. It is a day. It is a week. It is a month. It is a year.
Hell yeah.
But I in terms of predictions, I mean, I'm not one for doing a whole lot of prediction stuff, but I do feel like 2024 is going to be quite the year in terms of things coming up. In fact, maybe I should pick a few cards for that. I just feel like maybe that would be a good idea. Since we don't have anything planned, maybe we should pick some cards for 2024. What do you think, guys? I think we should do it. It's a group reading. We're not talking individuals, but let's do a group overall kind of reading for that. Let's see what they say. What do you think, Jen?
I think that sounds great.
Let's see what 2024 has in store for us. Yeah, I'm getting very strongly transition for everyone. I think that's going to be a really big piece. I think we're going to see a lot more disclosure of some of these things coming up that perhaps we have swept under the rug for many years. And I think that maybe on an individual level as well as on a collective. And yes, I absolutely agree. Let's encourage 2024 to be a good year. I think it all depends on how you view that, right? I think that transition or transformation
Mhm.
is a beautiful thing. It is something for us to look forward to, something that's needed in many ways. And
Well,
so,
yeah, good year doesn't always mean easy.
well, yeah,
Not good for sure. But it's also an 8, right? So there's
uh,
definitely will be some.
that's a good thing, right? Isn't
Mhm.
age a good thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Brings in balance, and it can also bring in some moving forward, which is nice. Let's see.
Absolutely.
Do some as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hippity.
Oh, that's good. All right. Woohoo. Yeah, it's going to be a year of learning. Okay, so what else have we got going on? Do we think it will be different from 2023 or is it a continuation? I think it's going to be different. I think there's going to be this shift in energy because there is a shift that we're going through right now. And I think, when we look at, I hesitate to sort of say, something's going to be good or bad because you really want to sort of look at it in a positive way anyway. And good or bad are just the values that we put on it. It doesn't mean good or bad. Like somebody might have a real transition year and there's a lot of emotional work they've done and all of that stuff. And they could see that as bad, or they could see it as a lot of learning and that they've grown and all of this stuff. So I think that um, there's a bit of a thing that we need to sort of stay out of in terms of self-judgment where all of that is concerned, or judgment of outcome. Uh, a big hello to Hypnocity. Hello. Thank you for joining us. And Gerald says, how can we embrace 2024 to maximize our ability to work with it? Yes, exactly. Hypnocity, we're just doing a group reading. This is just kind of an overview for everybody, for the collective. We're not doing individuals today. So what I got was, don't give up on love. So this is a great one. So a relationship you cherish can be healed. Allow me to clear the way for forgiveness so that love can thrive again. For me, this is a reminder. Don't give up on love as a vibration. If we're looking at collective, love each other, right? Don't give up on that. Be gentle with each other. Prioritize self-care. So loving the self. So love is a big one, right? That's a big one for us to focus on. It says here, you do so much for others. It's time for you to experience the love you deserve and let others help you. So help each other, right? That Ram Dass quote, we're all just walking each other home.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. Okay. And see, giving birth. It's a transitionary time. Giving birth to new energies. And it's very pink, and we have a dove on this card. So we're bringing in more love and more peace. And the way to do that is for us each individually to be doing it on a regular basis, right? That's the only way to create change. We have to each do more love, more peace, and we can do that really well by prioritizing our self-care. Trust in divine purpose. This experience has divine meaning. Healing will come. Know that you're on a path of growth. So we just talked about that. You see here, she's got all that light coming down on her face. That's all the light downloads, or the codes that are coming down. And they're all beaming down to create this change or transition. And that's really going to help us to make a difference. Okay, so we got make a difference here. And this says, my inner light shines far and wide. This is also a spiritual communication card. And I also got hearing messages from spirit. So I think we're going to have an upsurge this year of people that are starting to tap into some of those latent gifts that they may not have been using. They're going to start to come to the surface, and people are going to be like, why am I seeing this? Or why am I hearing this? Or so, support each other, right? we all have intuitive abilities. They've been latent for so long, and we haven't had them come forward because of society programming. So let's allow that to be okay. Okay. And support people when they have that kind of experience. That's how we're going to like increase our knowledge, right? So it's also a learning year. So I got increase your knowledge. Education brings opportunities. Take a course, pick up a book, find a mentor to teach you what your soul longs to know. So that begs the question, what does your soul want to know in 2024? What do you want to learn? Where are you called? What makes your heart light up? Because the way forward is open. See, we got joy on that card. What makes your heart light up? Okay? You're not trapped. Possibilities and opportunities abound. Archangel Michael will guide you to personal and spiritual freedom. So it really is about stepping into that joy. Okay? Stepping into the joy to reveal radiance. There's pearls of wisdom in all of that. So step into those pearls of wisdom. My light illuminates the world.
Yeah.
Okay? Allow your light to shine. We all have a beautiful heart light. Allow that to shine so others will see you. And we can expect miracles, which I think is beautiful. Miracles are blossoming in my life. If you look at this, we've got hands, which is all about helping. We've got a lotus, which is coming out of the mud. And we've got all this green, which is all about growth and expansion. And the beautiful heart light in the center. So we're expanding and having growth this month. Okay, maybe it is this month. I think it's going to be the year. But month came out, so be prepared for it to be big this month. Okay, expecting miracles, and then we're going to rise above. Interesting. Here we have two lotuses on these two cards, right? The lotuses come out of the mud, so I think that we're going to start to come out of some of this mud that we've been in, some of the density that we've been in, and it's going to start to be beautiful. Look how she's shining there with all of that light coming out. I see only beauty and grace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing, right? We can see what we want to see. Notice the beauty, notice the everyday magic in the world.
Yeah.
That's what I would love for all of you, is to be able to notice the everyday magic and see that in your everyday life, and bring that forward for yourself and find your joy. So those would be my wishes for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, absolutely, self-care and spirituality. Absolutely, I think that's what's coming. It's been heavy. Not bad, just very heavy. Yes.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah, it has.
I have hope and expectation for miracle this year, this coming year, that we can release some of that heaviness and move out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If not as a collective, as individuals, because our perception is our reality. So let's go there.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jen?
Well, definitely. I mean, I pulled a bunch of cards, and pretty much, I'll show them all to you, but I'm just looking at them as they're like spread across my desk here. And as I kind of take them all in, the message across all of them is really, it's going to be a year of connecting with our higher self, connecting with our dreams, and bringing them into the world, right? And so, where to even start, right? I got the beyond, right? And so we're going to look at, lifting our consciousness above the worldly illusions. And I think that this is such an important piece, right? Being able to recognize how much of what's been going on in the world, how much of it has been conditioned thinking, illusion thinking, and how much of it is not our actual reality, and being able to really take our power back, right? It says, I remember the power I have in every situation. I always have a choice in how I respond, right? And today I choose to turn my thoughts towards higher self, God consciousness, universe, light, love, whatever it is that works for you in that. By focusing my awareness beyond the illusions of the material world, I experience simplicity and peace. And really, I think of all of the cards, that kind of sums up what they all are saying here, is that this is really potential time for breaking through those barriers, for breaking through those walls, for breaking through the illusions. And one of the cute cards that I got here was being the hungry bunny, right? Really being able to feast on the opportunities and wanting it, right? Really wanting something different. And allowing space for that so that you can listen to your inner voice and connect with your inner self. So much of these cards is about connecting with that inner divinity, connecting with your true self, and listening to that in order to be able to bring your dreams into the world, right? And this one is pursue your dreams. And so being able to really connect with that energy. Right, I got the cosmic ocean. So current dreams, future reality, new beginnings. Right, really being able to pull that energy and connect with that and bring that inspiration in. And how do we do that? Well, we recognize our true nature. We recognize that we're eternal, right? We recognize that we have this ability, that we are connected, right? It's not that we have to connect, but we are. This is just part of who we are as beings, and that we are part of this eternal essence, and that we have the ability to tap into that consciousness, and we have the ability to bring that beauty into our experience, and we have the ability to see that within ourselves and to see that in the world around us, no matter what the illusion is showing us. Right? We can tap into that, and we can know that, and we can do that by having clear vision, right? We can see with clear waters. We can have that confirmation, and we can know in the right timing what opportunities are available to us, and what is there for us. And as we do that, we step into our divinity, right? We really step into that wakefulness, in that ability to recognize that. And this one I want to read, right? And it's this idea of wake me from the sleepwalk of believing that I am only human. But there's also this component of recognizing that I am human, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
And in that place, we can connect our current reality with our ancient wisdom, right? And those things come together. And so this ancient wisdom also becomes the reality within us. And so we're really bringing these things together. And it's interesting because, we talked about this, I said earlier that, 2024, it's an 8. Right? And whenever I picture the 8, I picture the infinity, right? Yeah. And again, it's this, we're connecting, and we're coming in, and we're connecting it, and we're bringing it in, right? And this is the energy of the year that we're stepping into, where if we're able to really recognize who and what we are, and allow ourselves to disconnect from the conditioning and the illusions and the things that, have really held us back, right? And do the work with the shadow, work with the parts of us that maybe we've been scared of. And we talk about it being good. That work is good. It's hard, and it's hard, but it's good. But it's good, right? And when we do that, wow, the beauty that can come from it and that we can connect with is absolutely incredible, because in it we find love for ourselves. And we find love for all creatures and all beings. And in that space where love has the ultimate power, man, are we connected. And we're bringing that wisdom down, and we're able to share it and bring it out, and we're bringing it back down. And that is where that infinite possibility comes from. And that's the energy that I'm feeling when I look at these cards.
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of transition and beauty and cleansing. Like the water one, when you showed that one, I just felt this big cleansing piece, lots of water. like water energy, right? That's also emotion, though. I mean, water can be symbolic of emotion. So, it's going to be perhaps an emotional roller coaster for some going through the year, but note that emotion is energy. So when we can ride those waves, we can get through and process the energy that we need to process.
Yeah. I mean, I always go back to Shakespeare. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Right. And it really is. I mean, we judge and we label, and our mind has this way of saying, this experience is good and that experience is bad. And some experiences are really, really hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not negating that at all. But everything that we go through can bring us to amazing places if we allow it.
Yeah. The thinking makes it so.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Gerald. Absolutely. Yeah. And don't we think too much sometimes? Just saying. Overthinking is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I notice I have some sparkles on my face from my glasses. Sorry.
Well, and it gets in the way of the flow too.
It
right?
does. It does.
We can be in that place of connection and flow, and that energy is there. And then the brain goes, oh, wait a minute. And boom, we're out. Right? And it's in that very moment, and we go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we judge ourselves.
Of
we
course.
beat ourselves up. Right? These are just patterns. Notice them. Right?
Yeah.
Go, oh, okay, I'm doing that thing again.
Doing it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Okay. And then forgive yourself for doing it, because it is human.
Yeah.
And, the brain wants to make sense of things. So, yeah. Absolutely. So does anybody have anything else they want to share on the show? Because we're actually getting short on time. I cannot believe it's been like it's 5 to 6. I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh my goodness.
How did we already go through it?
How did that happen? So does anybody have anything else they want to share around this? Like, what are you guys expecting maybe that's the wrong word. What are you hoping for? What are you anticipating?
What are you holding space for?
Ooh, beautiful. What are you holding space for in 2024?
Mm-hmm.
What brings you joy?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I know we've got a lot of stuff coming up at the school. That's stuff that's, I'll share that in a moment. I'm so excited because we've got the Celtic Shamanic High Priestess program starting tomorrow. And that is always a lot of fun. We have a great group coming in. So excited. Yeah, so like only a few hours left if you guys are interested in that. You can pull this up, I guess, if you like. Oh, there we go. Holding space for not feeling overwhelmed. Very good.
Let's reframe that though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
instead of looking for the negative, right, for not feeling overwhelmed, I'm holding space for, and let's make it positive.
Peace.
I'm holding space for peace. I'm holding space for expansive ability. I'm holding space for setting boundaries.
Holding space to grow, learn, and let things flow. Beautiful. Absolutely.
I'm holding space.
And you do that very well. Gerald has held space for me, which I totally appreciate, and he does it very well. I love you. If you need someone to hold space.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to, work towards not feeling overwhelmed. But as we talked about in our RAS session,
he's holding space for more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Perfect.
right? We don't want
More
to. We don't
Calvin.
want to look for what we don't want. We want to look for what we do want.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, for sure.
And you're holding space to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. It's a new year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a time for us to be able to make new decisions, create new boundaries, right?
Yeah.
There is that sort of refreshing energy that comes when we move into a new year. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
And even just holding space for something different.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we just feel stuck and we just like, I just need something different.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah, kids make it difficult for sure.
They do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're making decisions not just for yourself, right? It is. But it's something that we all, as parents, I think we do that regularly, right? We all have to be, and I think one of the biggest things when I was becoming a parent, I was in my perfectionist state. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to be a perfect parent. How do I do that? How do I be a perfect parent? And somebody said to me, you just have to be good enough and make decisions out of love for your child. I was like, oh, well, okay. I think I can maybe do that. So for me, that was it was like giving me permission to just love. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time, I was not at the same place as I am now. And so that was huge to give me permission to just love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just love. If there's love and you're making a decision out of love and not out of fear, then no matter what the outcome, it's easier to live with if you're making it out of love instead of out of fear,
Yeah.
right?
And you know what? If down the road you go, oh man, I could have done this, then you just go, okay.
Okay, I could have. That's an
I
option.
didn't have that information at the time. I did the best I could do in the moment with the information that I had.
Yeah.
I made the best choice I thought I could make in that moment, and I honor that. And moving forward, I'll do something different, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Teresa. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
We're talking about what we're leaving space for 2024. So, what are you holding space for?
Yeah.
So,
And while we're talking about that too, right? What do we want to release?
yeah.
It's a great time of year. Let's release.
Well, we have a full moon on Boxing Day,
Mm-hmm.
26th.
Yeah.
That will be a powerful one,
Yeah.
right?
I love it. More
Love
glimmer.
it. Perfect.
Yes. For
Holding
those of
space
you
for more glimmers.
who don't know, you need to go check out Tara Stash's page or his channel.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I am so bad with these terms.
Yeah, YouTube channel. It's all about glimmer right now.
And participate in his glimmer
Glimmer globe,
globe.
right?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
amazing. Looking for glimmers, those things that light us up, right?
absolutely.
Those moments that bring us joy. And right now is a beautiful time to be mindful of those, right?
So, anybody that's watching, please write down one glimmer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what is a glimmer for you?
Mm-hmm.
What lights you up?
Yeah. What brings you joy? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, the what ifs. Yep.
Mm-hmm. What if?
Yep,
What
there we
if?
go. Glimmer
What if?
globe. What
What
if?
if? What if? What if?
Can't quite see that.
It's not going to do it. What if?
No.
Let me see if I can get it to focus. What if? No, it's not going to do it. Ah! What if it all works out, is what it says.
And what if it does all work out?
What if it all works out? You know, I've been there.
That's awesome.
I'm going to say, Astrid, I've been there. I've been in that place where I had to make a tough decision, and my tough decision impacted my littles. And it was hard. And nobody can make that decision for you. And as much as I had other people who gave me valuable insights and told me all kinds of things, I had to be in a place where I was ready to make that decision before I could make it. And it's going to be the same for you. Yeah. And there's going to come a point, and there's always a point where we go, the pain of one decision outweighs the pain of another. The discomfort of one outweighs the discomfort of another. And when that balance shift happens, that's when change happens.
Yeah.
And until then, we stay and we don't make a change. And when that shift happens, we go, that's it. I'm ready. Right? The biggest piece in all of it is being kind and compassionate with yourself while you're going through the process.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Right? It's your decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready, in your own time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Teresa, I hope that you find a place that allows you to have a colony of cats inside.
A farmhouse, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
That would be lovely. Here's a couple of glimmers for the Glimmer Globe. Family.
Yes.
And Kaylee was thankful for her emotions today. Each is a gift.
Ah, Rumi. Yes, they are.
They are beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
First glimmer of my day was a deep meditation with Terry at Holding Your Space Meditation Tribe. Beautiful. And this cowbell. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta love the cowbell.
Mm-hmm.
Astrid. Beautiful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we go forward with hope, with love, with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to show a few things, one in particular, on the screen, because it starts tomorrow. So this is one of the big programs that we offer at Twillow Lifestyle Community. It's the Celtic Shamanic High Priest, High Priestess program. So it includes all sorts of stuff. It's a year and a day program. And if you're interested, please reach out, because we do have an initiation into the program tomorrow evening. Okay, so just as a heads up. And we're going to be doing all sorts of programs this year. We actually also will be having, let me just pull that up too. We are going to be doing a yoga instructor course with Jacqueline this year. If I can find that. Do I have that one here? Maybe I do not. We do have a vision board class with Jacqueline as well. So that one is coming up. No. I gotta stop sharing and then go back. Sorry, guys. Taking me a little longer than I anticipated. So we have a vision board class. This is going on between Christmas and New Year's. I believe it's the 28th. And we also have the yoga instructor class. And so that you can check out the website. That's coming up. It's starting. Oh, here I do have it here. It is starting very soon. Again, in the new year. I believe it's the 11th. So it's a 200-hour yoga instructor class with Jacqueline Richards. And that is coming up. This is I do want to note that this is a hybrid class. So there'll be some in person and some not in person, online. And so it is in Ottawa. So this is local. Okay. So just so we've got that in there. So we have so much coming up with the school, and Jen's working on a class, and she and I are both working on a class together. And I'm working on a year of magic. That's the other thing that's coming. So yeah, we've got lots of fun stuff coming up with the Twillow Lifestyle Academy. Oh, beautiful. So we got cats that are friendly and cared for now. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
And Kaylee is so excited. Absolutely. She's joining us for the Celtic Shamanic class. So there is lots happening. So please stay tuned. And yes, and we have the Twillow Lifestyle community, and we have one of our newest members is Gerald. It's awesome. And we have readings, we have ebooks, we have all sorts of stuff. And there's Jacqueline. Jacqueline's the one teaching the 200-hour class. We're so excited. Aw, thanks, Annie. It's fun. It's great when we love what we do, right? We really I've never been able to say that I love my job until I started doing this work. So we are sending so much love to all of you as we finish out this year, 2000.
Sorry.
I don't have a Mac, so I can't. I don't have special effects. I just have my hands.
That's okay. Your hands are wonderful. It just makes me giggle.
My hands and my glasses are snow. For those of you that missed it at the beginning of the show, although they're kind of crooked because I have my other glasses on. But anyway. Aw, thank you. Beautiful. Yes, we Twillow people, we do. We do love what we do. And that is key. So thank you to you as well, Teresa. Love to all. And so we will be back in the new year. I think we're actually off 2 weeks.
Are we?
I think so.
I don't know.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are having a little escape on the following week. Yes. So we will be back the 8th.
Okay.
Because our little escape is on that day.
Oh, I thought it was on the Tuesday. Okay.
Monday, Tuesday is what we have. The 1st and the 2nd.
Great.
Right?
Okay. See you guys
so it's Monday, Tuesday. So it's in 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes. Yes, other Monday is New Year's Day. That's right. Okay. So we will see you in 2 weeks. Merry holidays. Absolutely. Whichever holiday that it is that you celebrate, just have fun. Right? Jen and I are taking some time off to kind of rest, rejuvenate, spend time with family, all of that stuff. And we will miss you as well. We will miss you all. Please come back again and join us next year. It's so much fun having you all here. And I just have to say, it's been such a wonderful year.
It's been phenomenal.
Absolutely beautiful. So we thank you all, sending you so much love and many, many blessings for the new year. And we will see you in 2024. Bye, all.